Hello everybody, how are you all? I'm Pallavi here. I'm sorry this video has gotten delayed. Not an issue. We are going to start with the new chapter today of reflections, which is Babar Ali. Have you heard about philanthropists, guys? Philanthropists, they are the people who actually help the society to make the society a better place to live. They help in cash, kind. They make people's life go smooth without any hindrances as much as possible. Okay? Have you heard about Azim Premji? I'm sure you have. Azim Premji Foundation, correct? Kiran Majumdar Shaw, her foundation, charitable institutions run by our very own Shri R.N. Shetty, Warren Buffett, and Melinda Gates Foundation, correct? There are n number of philanthropists in our country, in the world, who work tirelessly for the upliftment of the underprivileged, correct? Now, the chapter, the article which is being provided to you as your PU syllabus talks about Babar Ali, okay? And who has written this article? We shall discuss about the author first, alright? This article is written by Samarpitha Mukherjee Sharma, creative editor of Youth Leader India chapter, okay? Now, she is a freelance writer and editor. She has worked with different publishing houses as well as individual authors, okay? Now, let's talk about Babar Ali. Guys, ponder over this thought. Fight poverty with education. What do you mean by that? Fight poverty with education. You might have seen people across you, around you, in your neighborhood, children of construction workers, how much they slog day in and day out. Do you know why? Because they are deprived of education, for any reason for that matter. They are deprived of education, my dear students. So, the current situation is for them is because of the education which they couldn't pursue, and unfortunately for their to fulfill their hunger, to have a good healthy meal for the day, they have to work. They have to do some job at least. Understood? Now, that's the reason Babar Ali understood this basic need of our country. To fight poverty, we need to educate people. We need to educate the children from the grassroots level. That was his motto. And he's been termed the youngest headmaster in the world by BBC. Correct? You might have heard about this term, youngest headmaster in the world is our very own Babar Ali. Alright? And let's now discuss about Babar Ali as a person. Babar Ali has been awarded with many prestigious awards from within the country and from abroad as well. And in 2012, he was featured in Amir Khan's Satyameva Jayate, if you remember. And because of his immense contribution to the field of education, our PU board honored him by adapting his story into his life story and his achievements as a chapter for our PU board. Correct? So, the list is endless, guys. He's been awarded Real Hero Award by CNN, the youngest headmaster of the world by BBC, Forbes 30 under 30 award as well, and n number of, the list is endless, my dear students. Babar Ali is a testament for all of us that a kid of 9 years old had this courage to change, to bring in the welcome change in the society. Isn't it inspiring to all of us? Let's now talk about Babar Ali's routine and his stature. He wakes up at 7 o'clock in the morning, finishes his daily chores, He takes an auto rickshaw and later walks for 5 kilometers to reach his school, Kozim Bazar Raj Govind Sundari Vidyapeeth. He is a class 12 student there, and he is a very thin, gangly boy. Gangly is a person with an upwardly built posture, okay, and he sits in the middle of the front row. What he does after the school hours is very intriguing. He's a model student, an ideal student, my dear students. He is a very smart, very studious. He is very neatly dressed, austere. Austere is a term used in that sentence. Austere is very neatly dressed in his blue and white uniform. What he does after the school hours, what do we do? Generally, our kids, what do? They run back home, they throw their bags, they change and they go back to the playground. They want to play cricket, football, they want to spend the rest of the day playing and enjoying with friends. But Babar Ali is not that character. He comes back to his school, his school, where he is headmaster of 800 students. Understood? So, this is like over the board for us. How can a small kid, just a class 12 student, run a school of his own? Correct? And that is what is all about. That is what we are going to talk about Babar Ali. Now, let's now talk about Babar's school. It is a dilapidated concrete structure covered in half-tone posters. Dilapidated is like about to fall, decayed structure, and which is covered with half-tone posters. Half-tone posters are like if you have observed by the side of the roads, if a new movie is released, a big hoarding of that movie would have been put up. Overnight, it gets vanished. Where does these posters go? It will adorn the carts of the vegetable vendors, fruit vendors. Correct? So half-tone posters. And inside, in a tiny dank room behind a desk. Inside, in a tiny dank is a wet, wherein everything is like damp because of the wetness. The wall is all damp. So, dank room behind the desk sits someone even the Queen of England knows by name. What is his name? Babar Ali. Queen of England knows by his name. Babar. Something rang? Babar is the father of Humayun. Right? So, Queen of England knows by his name. We are not talking about Babar Ali, the person in the text. No, we are talking about the Mughal Emperor Babur here. Okay? Now, let's talk about his house. Guys, behind the office, okay, we have his house as well. So, is a gate which opens to his house, and it's a complete thatched hut, we can say. Over there are lots of children who are sitting in they're reading, they're engrossed in the books. Few kids are peeping into the books of others. Few kids are actually going through something serious. There are certain set of children, just class 1 students, the small kids, they're playing around. They're not concentrating on what they're supposed to learn, and over there amidst them we can see Babar Ali with his shorts and trying to teach these standard 1 kids. Just imagine the situation, just imagine the place, guys. And coming from such a humble background, Babar Ali feels that he is one of the fortunate souls of that village. And just think about it. We whine about everything, guys. We crib for everything. For the tiniest disappointments, we sit and cry. For the tiniest, allowances which are not being provided for us, we shout. We create hue and cry. What for? Just because we are not, our wish is not fulfilled. Just imagine the children of this of underprivileged background, how much they should feel. But Babar Ali is of not that kind of a person. He knows the real value of education. He understands that how important education is for an individual. So, and you know what? He, as I said earlier, he considers himself as one of the most fortunate souls in his village, Murshidabad. Why is that? Bapta neighbourhood. Actual place of his stay is Bapta neighbourhood, which is at Murshidabad in West Bengal. And being the eldest of the siblings of his household, and the best part here, guys, his father, rather his parents, are very, very supportive of all the three siblings. They actually have educated all the three siblings in the household, because his father, even though he is a jute seller, a school dropout. Okay, he is a school dropout. He knows the real value of education. Okay, so he has always encouraged the children of his family to learn, and even though they couldn't afford a good meal for the day, they have never disappointed the kids, and they have always sent the kids to the school which provides them with good education. Babar Ali knows he is very privileged, because unlike his friends and children in the neighborhood, he has gone to school. He has been educated. And you know, if people say that it's free education, is everything free? They have to pay for books, they have to pay for uniforms, correct? Of course, the people who are underprivileged, they can't afford all this. So instead, what do? They would send their kids to do odd jobs. The children work as grass cutters, welders. They do menial jobs. They work as mechanics. They work as livestock herders, etc., etc. Whereas girls work as maids in different households. They wash clothes. They do clean. They cook. They clean. And where would the parents afford to send them to the school under these circumstances? So Babar Ali says that even though we are three siblings at home, our parents always encouraged us to go to school, and that's the reason he considers very, very fortunate. Okay, for Babar Ali's father, he says that education is man's true religion, and he has stood by that, and he has made the children stand on their feet. Okay. Babar Ali wanted to change all this, guys. He wanted to bring radical change in the society. He wanted to uplift the kids from. He's seen his friends slogging. He's seen his friends who are working day and night and helping their family. So he wanted to start something new, something innovative. That's when his school. The idea of opening a school struck him. That's how his school, Ananda Shiksha Niketan started. Okay, and Babar says that it was just like a game for him. The school started just like a game. He being the teacher and his friends being the students. And his friends never knew even the outside of the school, neither the inside of the school. So they were curious to know what actually is being taught, is being told in the school or in the classrooms. So they were curious to know what's going to happen, what is happening in the classroom. So they came. They were enjoying the so-called game of teacher and the student. This is how Ananda Shiksha Niketan started. Babar Ali has completed his Bachelor of Arts with English as specialization from Krishnath College, and he has finished his Masters in English, Masters of Arts basically, with English and History as specialization from University of Kalyani. In fact, he has been invited to different schools and colleges across India to have motivational talks, And guys, Ananda Shiksha Niketan, the school for joyful learning. How wonderful the translation is. Ananda Shiksha Niketan, the school for joyful learning. Hmm? Now, he's studying in the mornings, he goes to his college, and how will he run the school? The school runs through the weekdays from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. and on Sunday it is on from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And my dear students, the whole school is filled with the daughters of laborers, farmers. They want to actually brighten the future of their daughters. I want to share a story here of mother-daughter duo. Their name is Mumtaz Begum and Muniara Khatun. These two women, they walk 20 kilometers to reach Babar's school. Mother is in 7th standard and daughter is in 3rd standard. And why should mother get enrolled in the school? Mumtaz Begum says, and I quote, "I couldn't help my daughter to finish her homework, so I joined the school." How wonderful this is, my dear students. Babar's school, Ananda Shiksha Niketan, is transforming lives of people. We need to really appreciate the effort of this small kid who is doing changes, who is doing miracles for the society. And hats off to him once again. These kids loved arithmetic. They enjoyed arithmetic. Okay. So in the year 2002, this game, school game, got institutionalized. In the sense, the government of West Bengal recognized this school. Okay. Slowly and steadily, people start, the word spread and people came to know that yes, a small kid has started a school. So encouragement poured from all the directions. Initially, his father contributed 50 rupees to buy the chatais, the pencils, the notebooks, etc., etc. Slowly the word spread and there are a lot of contributors who contributed for the upliftment of the school. Help began from different quarters. Babar's own teachers, monks at the local Ramakrishna mission, sympathetic IAS officers, even local cops. And Babar also started midday meal scheme. In the sense, he wanted to provide food for these kids. And initially, the food, or rather, his father provided him with the rice from his own field. So slowly and steadily, the school became popular. Alright, my dear students. Now, what is the strength of the school and how many teachers do they have? The school initially started with 8 students. Now, at this moment, it's around 1,000 students. But when the article was written on the roll call, on the register, there were 800 students. Okay, and 10 teachers. Who are those teachers? These 10 teachers were the friends of Babar Ali. And the best part is Babar Ali used to teach these kids the way he is being taught in his school. How wonderful this is, now. Whatever he is being taught by his teachers, the same way, the same pattern he used to follow to teach these kids of his school. So on the roll, the school had 60 regular attendees, over 220 students on roll calls and 800 students in total, with 10 volunteer teachers from grade 1 through 8. And once the school got institutionalized, it was a cakewalk for the students because these students were recognized, they were promoted, and even they could get into another school, or they could get into any school for that matter for higher education. Alright, so far so good, my dear students. Now, let's come to know about few kind souls of the of his village, Gangapur village. Okay, who are these kind souls? One of the most prominent person who actually helped in building the school is the crusader, we can say, Tulu Rani Hazra. Who is Tulu Rani Hazra? Please go to page number 48. Last paragraph. Clad in widow's whites. She's a widow. She is wearing a white robe kind of a dress. Stick in hand. She is an illiterate fishmonger by morning. Illiterate. Just imagine, guys. She is illiterate, but she is a pioneer in bringing up the school. She is an illiterate fishmonger. She sells fish in the mornings. And a crusading educationist by afternoon. Crusading. She is a volunteer who works relentlessly to bring up the school. By afternoon, what does she do? On fish selling rounds of nearby villages, her job is to confront erring parents. Confront erring parents, to talk. Erring parents are the parents who are committing mistakes of not sending the kids to school. She used to go and talk to them. She used to counsel them. She used to explain them the importance of education. She being illiterate herself, how noble she could be. So, confront erring parents who have stopped sending their children to school and to find new students. She was doing the marketing job as well. So, she has recruited around 80 students till now. Understood? Now, we are talking about, let's know about Debarita Bhattacharya. Okay, one of the main teachers of Babar's school. One of the teachers who teach higher classes. Okay, now she is also the classmate of Babar. She comes from Behrampur. Babar Ali, as I said earlier, he teaches the way he is being taught in his school. Alright, and I had told you earlier about the environment of the house, or environment of the so-called classroom. It's a hut. Children sit under the open sky, and there are small kids running around everywhere. There are children who sit on the mud, on the rickety benches. Rickety benches are like about to fall, thin, which doesn't have the strength, about to fall, about to break kind of benches. And there are small children who are wandering around everywhere. Babar says that to enroll the kids of first and second standard is very easy, but to enroll the kids to high school or a higher standard is very difficult. Page number 49, guys. He says class 1 and 2 there are around 200 students. Class 8 has just 20 students, and he teaches all the 10 subjects. And all these subjects are taught by either Babar or Debarita Bhattacharya. And she is a volunteer who's been helping Babar all these years. Now he says from class to 5 it is absolutely free of cost education. But for the rest, money should be provided. And on any given day, he says there are 400 students physically present in his school. Alright. Now guys, just understand this. A small kid thinks so much about the society, how wonderful he could be. He says that he has never hit the kids. And how does it happen? How does this blissful thing happen? He says narrow age gap works wonders for me because I treat them as my friends. So I have never hit my students. The rod is spared in my school. Okay, he gets into their level and he teaches them. So obviously whatever is being taught reaches the kids in a very effective manner. Yes or no? Now Samarpitha Mukherjee, she is trying to end the article. She says that this is all for you, my dear students, or this is all for you guys, is what she is saying. But things were not always so smooth for Babar. In fact, the elders of the neighbourhood, they always said, why are you doing all this? Why and what is the purpose or what is the use of teaching kids who cannot even have proper food? Why are you encouraging girls to learn, to become educated? Because if they get educated, how will they be able to get married? Correct. How will they, during those days, even now for that matter, people think in the remote villages, people think that if we educate a girl child, it's very difficult for her to get married. So that is like a stigma of our society. But Babar's father was very adamant. He knew that how important education is. So he made sure that all his daughters were very neatly and very educated as well. Now, Babar says that I have n number of dreams. I want to have a pakka building. I want to have a good school with shining labs, a playground for that matter. But all this can stop for a while. But I need a good building for my school. Of course, he has not stopped his annual days, sports days. He's made sure that his students will enjoy all these activities of the school. Samarpitha Mukherjee says that she is very lucky that she got an opportunity to interview a person like Babar Ali. She says, in fact, that a kid can dream of has such a noble cause. He can dream of such a noble thing. Why can't the rest of the youth do something of this sort? He has inspired a lot of people in his neighborhood and in the world around. So hats off to Babar Ali is what she says. We need to have that determination that we need to do something good for the society. Yes or no, students? So please come out of that cocoon, come out of that comfort zone of yours and do something good for the society. Alright? As Mahatma Gandhi says, you need to be the change you wish to see in the world. The article is concluded as in page number 50, guys. It is not very often that we come across someone like Babar Ali. Coming from a small village in Murshidabad, he should be commended just for the audacity of hoping. Audacity is the boldness that yes, I can do some change, some transformation in the society. It is this hope and the faith that he has upon himself that has helped him come all this way. So here is to Babar Ali. We have to salute you, Babar Ali, for dreaming and making your dream come true. Hats off to you. So, my dear students, this is Babar Ali for you, and we shall discuss about first few questions which generally comes in your paper. So, first question, where does Babar Ali run classes for poor children? Where does he run his classes? In his family's backyard. Okay. Next, how is Babar Ali's routine described by the writer? Babar Ali wakes up at 7 in the morning, starts his day by finishing his daily household chores. He takes an auto rickshaw first and later walks 5 kilometers to his school. The name of the school, Kozim Bazar Raj Govinda Sundari Vidyapeeth. And which standard he is into? He is into class 12. Okay. Next, give a picture of Babar Ali's school. It is a dilapidated structure, concrete structure covered with half-torn posters, and inside the dank room behind the desk Babar Ali sits. And not only this, my dear students, you are supposed to talk about the kind of the environment which is set up in the school. The children sit under open sky and on the rickety benches, few sit on the mud. All these things should be included in this answer. Now, why is Babar Ali called a fortunate soul in his village? He is called a fortunate soul because he is the only one in his neighborhood to be educated. Okay. Next, what according to Babar's father is the true religion? Education is the true religion according to Babar's father. Correct. Now, why is sending children to school a costly affair for parents? Even though children are provided free education, sending children to school is not entirely free of cost. Although the children are taught for free, they still have to pay for uniform, books, etc. That's the reason a lot of family couldn't afford sending their children to school. Okay, this is your answer. So, my dear students, this is Babar Ali for you. Please like the video, comment below if you have any doubts. Do not forget to share it with your friends and classmates. Take care, my dear students. Have a great day ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.